Captain America, Brave New World. All right, let's talk about this one. Just came out of the theater. Let's start off with the storyline. I'm going to give the storyline, I have to give it a zero point 0.5 out of 2. So each category gets a score out of 2. 0 is obviously garbage, 2 is amazing. So zero point 0.5 would be like a meh. I was going to give this a 1 out of 2, meaning that it was okay. A 1 out of 2 is okay. I was with this movie in the beginning. It started off like, okay, Captain America's fighting guys, and here we go. I'm not a big. I'm a big fan of Sam Wilson, and I'm a big fan of Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, but as Falcon. I actually think they should have just made the same movie they made, but just call it Falcon. Or instead of having Joaquin be the other Falcon, if this movie would have been Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because the Falcon and the Winter Soldier television show is my absolute worst Marvel show, which is to say that it is worse than She-Hulk. She-Hulk is a worse made show in terms of like quality and like obviously story and characters, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier really pissed me off. And the reason is that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier were two characters that I thought were really cool in the MCU. They started out so high, and that show brought them down to really stupid levels. So it angered me. She-Hulk was a character that, she's fine in the comic books. I've read the first maybe 12-ish issues of the John Byrne series, but I didn't care about her that much. So ruining that character doesn't mean a lot to me. But Falcon and Winter Soldier I really liked, at least in the MCU, and they kind of ruined it in that show. So they were bringing it back. I thought, okay, this is getting pretty good, pretty cool. Then as the movie went on, the story did not take any new turns. Every single thing that you think is going to happen is going to happen. There's no surprises of any kind. We all know the leader is in this. Someone's trying to assassinate Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross. Gee, who is it? It's the leader. Gee, why is he doing it? Because he doesn't like him, because he's pissed off. It's revenge. It's very lazy. It's very rudimentary. Now, even with that, I could be, look, it's a revenge tale. Many movies focus on the villain just wants revenge. That's it. But there's a lot of dumb things that happen. And that's when we get into the not nitpicky, but this is when we get into like spoiler details where you're like this happens and you're like, why is that happening? That's kind of weird. I don't know. It didn't go anywhere new. It didn't try anything. It didn't take any kind of risk at all. Also, as a personal thing, it heavily involves Isaiah Bradley and the celestial being. Remember at the end of that Eternals movie? Eternals is my lowest ranked. No, it's not my lowest ranked. Black Panther Part 2 is my lowest ranked MCU movie. Eternals, I think, is like a 1.5 out of 2, out of 1.5 out of 10, 1.5 out of 10 total score. But remember the Celestial was there, came out of the ground or whatever. So that's all there. This entire movie has no purpose other than to try to force Sam Wilson as Captain America and to introduce adamantium. That is the only two things this movie has. Everything else is very generic. Had this movie come out in 1990 straight to video and had it been 85 minutes, because I'm going to talk about the pacing, which is a 0.5 for pacing out of a potential of 2, so 0.5 out of 2 for pacing. Had this come out in 1990 as an 85-minute movie, you would have been like, that was pretty cool. That was kind of a fun movie, with Falcon and he's fighting guys and there's this other guy with him and that's kind of cool. And Red Hulk, that's interesting, right? Unfortunately, this is a high budget movie that really seems like a direct to video movie. And I have to grade it according to that. I went to the IMAX. It's filmed for IMAX. So I have to look at it that way. I can't pull my punches on this one, even though I actually like Sam Wilson. I can't pull my punches. Yeah, it was boring. This is a 2-hour movie and it felt really long. And I can watch long movies, no problem. I just watched Godfather twice last weekend because I just got the 4K and I thought I'd throw it in, and then I ended up watching the whole thing. Yeah, this is a slow movie. And the reason it's slow is that the plot isn't going anywhere. And you just know, you're like, oh, I bet you this is going to happen. Yep, that happened. And it's like, why is this happening? Well, it's happening because the plot requires it. Nothing feels like it's organic. It's just like, okay, it's like introductory film course. Like, okay, guys, give me a revenge plot. Go. Oh yeah, there you go. That's it. Like, no, I know there's many reshoots. And listen, I can't be responsible for how many reshoots there are. All movies have reshoots anyways, by the way. So, reshoots doesn't mean it's bad automatically, but when there's so many of them and people are disappointed constantly and constantly, they go back and back, that's not a great sign. And it kind of shows here. The pacing's brutal. The artistry, actually, I was going to give it a pretty decent score. Unfortunately, we're going to have to give it a 1, which means it was okay. I actually like Harrison Ford's face as Red Hulk. I actually think his Hulk face looks way better than Mark Ruffalo does for his Hulk face, which I don't like at all, by the way. I don't like that character. And Hulk is top 5 Marvel character for me. And I feel that they've absolutely ruined this character. I definitely prefer Ang Lee's version to any of these other ones. Incredible Hulk is pretty cool. I wish Abomination looked better. But really, since Incredible Hulk, I have not liked the Hulk really in any of these things. I feel these two are stupid. But it looked okay. There's some decent fights. And again, if this was a direct video Canon Productions or something like Golden Globus or whatever, like if this was a Canon movie, you'd be like, wow, that was pretty damn cool, right? Look, this needs to be better. Okay. Sam Wilson said it in Falcon. You need to do better. There's some horrendous looking shots here, especially towards the end. I was like, oh my goodness, this looks terrible. I've literally done better in my buddy's basement with his green screen. I can't believe it. I've seen YouTubers with much better looking quality on their videos. Not like this crappy, my crappy quality, but like some of these other guys have really great quality. This looked terrible. And you're just like, what? I also, I'm like one of the few people, okay, fine. I do like the Captain America Sam Wilson costume, the white. I actually like it. My friend Sean, who you've seen on many streams, he makes fun of it. Rightly so. He calls it a Christmas tree. I don't know. I think it looks kind of neat. He doesn't have that. He only has that costume in the beginning. And then in the end, he has this other one, which is more subdued. And I don't like it at all. It looks terrible. The music was like, okay. It's like passable music. I don't know. Everything just seemed like, let's just get it done, right? Not a lot of heart was put into it. Characters. I'm going to give the characters a 1 out of 2. I'm feeling generous in this category. So at this point in time, I will mention that I do like Anthony Mackie and I do like him as Falcon. Him as Captain America, it's not working. They need to stop doing this right now. Like, stop it right now. Just like it's not happening. Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, Captain America, MCU Captain America is my favorite MCU character. Easy. It's not even a ranking system. Well, I think Iron Man's pretty good. It's like Captain America. Number 1, Captain America. Captain America, the first movie, love it. Winter Soldier, love it. Avengers, the first 2 Avengers and Infinity War, I love those movies. Captain America is awesome in those movies. He is the best. No, he cannot pass the mantle around. In the comics, he definitely can pass the mantle because Captain America is like at 80, now 90 years old or something soon. So when there's a character who's 90 years old in the comic books and there's a comic book every month, then certainly for a short period of time in comics, he can pass the torch to another character. Bucky can be Captain America for a little bit. Then maybe Falcon is Captain America for a little bit because the soldier serum wore off. And then, but it always comes back to Steve Rogers. But in movies, it's not like there's like 25 movies, and there is only a small amount of movies. It should be Captain America, Steve Rogers. That is who Captain America is. I don't mind passing the mantle on in comics when it's just a for fun thing and it lasts for maybe a year. Grey Hulk. I love Grey Hulk. He lasted for a little bit. And now we look back and say, remember those Grey Hulk issues? Those were kind of cool. Right? That's it. It shouldn't be the standard. Isaiah Bradley. So this is a weird one. The actor that played him was great. I In his performance, I definitely felt his pain. My problem is that I don't like the Isaiah Bradley character and what it represents for Captain America. It taints the origin of Captain America. Instead of being something exciting, something fantastical, something where you're like, wow, I'm a little guy, but then I became this super soldier. This is so cool. It taints it by saying, well, sorry, buddy, but you weren't the first. There was this other guy, and we treated him like crap because of the color of his skin. And we beat him up and tortured him and then treated him like crap and imprisoned him. That taints the Captain America story. I don't like it. I don't know who came up with that storyline in the comic books. I didn't like it then. I certainly don't like it now. And I do not want it in the live action MC universe. I think it's a terrible idea. I hate it. Flat out hate it. The actor did a good job. And in this, my problem is that because of the Falcon Winter Soldier television series, which ruined, I just hated that tainted me on this whole idea. Maybe I could have been okay with it, but no, I don't like it at all. That's one point I cannot change my opinion on. I don't like the character. It taints the origin of Captain America, period. Sam Wilson is good. Joaquin was okay. Some people are saying he was annoying. I didn't find him annoying. He was fine. The leader, big question. Everybody wants to know. Look, the leader was terrible in this movie. Dude, WTF. Really? This is the leader. Like, okay, the concept of what was going on, that he's like super thinking, he's got a super mind and he can outthink everybody. Yeah, but he does a lot of weird things where like, why are you doing this again? Like, why getting Captain America involved anyways? Like, that's weird. His plan for revenge to make Thaddeus look bad is just lame-o. And he's going to make him look bad by making him a Red Hulk. It's like, yeah, but if I'm a citizen of the United States and I'm like, yeah, but you turned him into a Hulk, so obviously he lost control. So why would I be pissed off at him? Why is Thunderbolt Ross even elected anyways? Like, this entire movie feels like it's very contrived. That's the problem. At no point in time does anything feel like this is organic and this is what should be happening in the MCU. Don't like it at all. Oh God. I mean, Harrison Ford, it's Harrison Ford. So I like Harrison Ford. What am I going to do? One of my favorites. I can't fault him. Enjoyment factor. This is a very tough one. I wrestled with this back and forth and back and forth. I settled on a 1 out of 2, mostly because I was pretending in my mind that this was a Falcon movie. I just pretended that, it's Falcon fighting these guys, not Captain America. Why don't I want him to be Captain America? Well, because the Falcon is an important character, both just in the Marvel comic books, but also in the outside history. When you've got these really early Black characters, it doesn't feel right to start changing them around. It feels like you want to keep the legacy of the Falcon. He's definitely one of those early characters. I don't think they should go back and change him around. I think he should remain as Falcon. I really like him as Falcon. I want him in the full red with the white. That's what I wanted. I mean, I'm not opposed to having him be this character. I understand they can't get Chris Evans back, so they're trying to, figure this out, and they're using the "it happened in comics" as an excuse to do it. And that's fine. They can do that if they want to, but that doesn't mean I have to accept it. And I don't think a lot of people are. I think majority of the people liked him as Falcon, and they're either indifferent or don't like him as Captain America. My enjoyment factor is going to be a 1 out of 2. That is a very generous score. I'm giving this a 4 out of 10, which is a very fair score for this movie. It might skew high I think a lot of people are going to be like, this is a terrible movie and it's done. And I know the Rotten Tomatoes and all of these people don't like it. They're giving it a whatever percentage. I don't even know. I'm going to go with a 4 out of 10, which is slightly more positive. I was going to give it a 3.5. Some people might give it lower. See what you guys think. I know you're going to go see it or whatever. If you're a normie and somehow you've come upon this video and you've actually watched this whole entire 15-minute crap that I've been spewing here, thank you, firstly, for watching all of this. But I don't know what the normies are going to think about this. It's difficult to turn off the comic book brain here. I've tried my best on this review to turn off the comic book J-Man and just look at this as a movie and try to get some kind of, quality points, to make here. It's an MCU movie. It's not a comic book. They stopped making these for comic book fans way, way, way long ago, probably in like phase 2 or something. They already stopped doing it. As soon as they started doing Infinity War and it wasn't the Infinity War, you knew there was an issue. Age of Ultron. As soon as it was an Age of Ultron, you knew, wait a minute, this is an Age of Ultron, right? Even though I like that movie, I do like Age of Ultron. I know everyone hates it, but I really like it. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, share it. That's always great if you can share it. That's super cool. And subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.